away from Carbon. Nidalee is a ban out. So, of course, that's been played more in the top lane these days. We'll see if Fabulous has been maybe picking that one up. Considering, well, no surprises on that one. That's a standard ban now. Maokai, we expect to see that either ban or first pick right now.
The one thing I do want to note, if you contrast the picks and bans, or the banning phase rather, from Legacy and Dark Passage in comparison to the likes of LCS bans, a lot of the LCS bans are focused around the mid lane. Here we're looking at top lane as jungler, AD carry. Holy Phoenix is far and away the carry for Dark Passage. So I like the fact that they've taken Tristana off the table, but the question is, what do Legacy want to first pick? Elise is available, Rengar's taken off the table, Lee Sin's taken off the table, so it might be a jungle first pick if they want to get something comfortable for Carbon.
Well, with Lee Sin taken away, as you mentioned, it may well be a first jungle. Dark Passage taking their full allotted time to decide on this final ban. It is going to be casted in. He's not going to sneak through. Of course, we'll be having a few changes in 4.14. We're not there yet, though. We're still on 4.13 for this tournament. And the first pick is Alistar. Will that be a top lane? We expect it will be. We've seen it in the top. Impact's been playing it. Of course, we saw it in EU West quarterfinals last week and all the Challenger games. So could also be picked as a support. We saw that a few times, but expected in top lane.
Yeah, we'll see where Legacy decides to put that particular champion. And, you know, the Cassidy ban is somewhat default, is somewhat standard. Choo Choo's actually got his hand on Cassidy in game 1 of their regional qualifiers for Oceania. But we still don't know enough, because my gut is actually leaning more towards the support role, primarily because Shyvana is still up and available.
Yep.
Legacy banned away Nidalee, who could make his life very difficult, and Minky Whale, well, he's a huge dragon. He carried hard in game 5 of that series. So we need to see how the rest of it plays out. But both of these teams really taking their time in this first game of the International Wildcard.
Well, it's going to be the Duo Q partnership getting their comfy picks, it seems. So Morgana Lucian will be the first choices for Dark Passage.
And of course, Lucian didn't feature at all last week. When we were looking at the Challenger series and the LCS quarterfinals, the one time Lucian was played by Millennium, it didn't work. Creatine really, really struggled. Everybody else has been trending towards Kog'Maw and Tristana as your go-to AD carries. So we've got to keep a very close eye on Holy Phoenix and how he handles himself on this Lucian.
Well, you just mentioned it. Kog'Maw has been the other go-to champion. Straight away gets locked in. That's going to be countered on that one. If Zilean gets locked in here, it seems it has been. And that will be possibly, yeah, it's got to be Choo Choo's. It has to be.
I think so too. Now, with seeing a Zilean lock-in, as well as Kog'Maw and Alistar, I still feel like this is going to be support Alistar for Kog'Maw, along with Zilean there in the mid lane. You've already got some very good peel and protection and revive for your Kog'Maw, so if Legacy are going to go for a protect the AD carry type of composition, they're pretty well set up for it at the time being, but they need to lock in a few more champions before we're 100% certain where Legacy are putting their champions.
Yeah, Naru very confident in his pick, locked that Xerath in instantly, has some very good stats again in solo queue while he's been in EU West. We saw some of those out. Jarvan may well be the next fallback. Crystal M has been playing a lot of Jarvan, so it's a champion that honestly is almost becoming the default in the jungle these days.
Yeah, you know, with the changes to Lee Sin and some of the hits that the sort of trifecta champion of junglers that Lee Sin and Elise Evelyn have been taking over the last few patches, Jarvan is rising to prominence, and it is something that we're seeing, especially in Europe, more and more LCS teams picking up, because the challenger scene here in Europe has been running him for a very long time. You know, we've been seeing Jarvan dominate the challenger level for several months. But look at Egypt at the moment, very serious, lots of talks going on, and there's still those flex picks on the side of Legacy. They could completely throw us off the loop and put a Zilean support, Alistar top lane, or something similar, but it's not going to be the case.
Well, it is going to be a Alistar support, because obviously Aurelia will be going in towards that top lane. It does mean Elise will be in the jungle, so that cow is going to be a support this time around.
So if you look at the Legacy composition, you've got two champions that can be the front line, in that Aurelia, in the Alistar. And when you combine the utility that Zilean brings to the table with the bombs, the speed up, and the revive, anybody that gets a little caught out of position can obviously come back. The one thing that I think Legacy needs to be very careful of is a Jarvan can dive quite deep. You've got great range on Xerath. So if Legacy are put in a position where they're somewhat clumped up, Cataclysm can be very, very impactful, and they can't afford to take poke. The poke damage from Legacy is very reliant on short-range bombs from Zilean and not a lot of damage from that living artillery. Contrast that to Dark Passage, and Xerath can run amok with those Arcano Pulses.
And looks like it's going to be Renekton for Fabulous in that top lane. So going with the old lane bully. Up against Aurelia, not a bad line matchup.
No, it's really not. And I think Dark Passage's team composition is a little more well-rounded. They've got strong engage, they've got a strong front line, they've got good protection for either Lucian or Xerath, and the mobility of most of the champions is very, very strong. The one thing that Dark Passage need to be aware of is that mid-game sort of power spike that Legacy are going to be looking at. If and when Cogmore gets his Trinity Force and Blade of the Rune King, and you see Zilean getting maybe a death cap fairly early on, plus the power of Irelia and Elise in that mid-game, I think Legacy are going to play super aggressive immediately as that laning phase ends to take advantage of their compositional strengths.
Yeah, it's something we talked to them about, and he was like, we heard you, you're really aggressive. And he's like, yeah, it's actually, we never realized it until we got here in Europe, and you guys seem to play really passive, so we'll see if their aggressive style works out this time around. Which team do you guys think has come out ahead in Champ Select? Tweet us hashtag LGC win for Legacy or hashtag DP win for Dark Passage. At LOL Esports, and of course we'll check throughout the game.
The aggressive playstyle from Legacy can be both positive and negative. If you get ahead while playing aggressive, yes, that's how you can close a game out. But the problem is, if you miscalculate or you don't have proper vision and warding, that instantly backfires on you. And something that I've noticed from all three of the teams in the Wildcard tournament, in terms of the VODs that I've been watching leading up, the vision is sometimes lacking. So for Crystal M on Dark Passage, especially on Jarvan, he tends to go mega ham, mega early. So he's got to make sure he's got the vision to justify and back up those decision-making.
Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Game one getting underway in the International Wildcard Tournament live from Gamescom in Cologne, Germany. If you guys are at home watching, can get to Cologne, well, maybe you had to try and sneak in today of all days. It's sold out every other day, so unfortunately, you could get in if you're press. I use the term loosely because every year more and more press seem to get in. But nevertheless, maybe it just means Gamescom is getting more popular. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Is there going to be any level 1 engagements? EGM just sees Dark Passage straight away in that river, so they know they have company and immediately ward out the tri-bush to make sure they do not get close enough.
Yeah, you've got to be very careful if you're on the side of Dark Passage. You never want to walk into a multi-man knock-up from Alistar. But on the same token, the long range of Morgana Dark Bindings can be beneficial. For the time being, it doesn't look like either team is setting themselves up for an invade. Legacy appear to be playing defensively. They might go for a red buff trade themselves as we get closer to that sort of 1 minute 40, 1 minute 50 mark.
Yeah, we can see Nero opposite the side, but he is in between two wards, so they have full vision of him. And it seems that Legacy do really want to go for the invade. It seems that Dark Passage are looking to do the exact same as well down that bottom half. You can see Crystal M just waiting off at the side, so expecting a double invade, both the red buffs here.
Yeah, we'll see if they just end up trading. When you've got the lane swap in favor of Legacy, obviously it reduces the risk of the swap because you're going to be able to pull Kadra towards you if you need him. So no movement on the side of Dark Passage yet, but I do still anticipate that this will be a result in just an end-up trade because, again, you're not going to see Legacy unless they really bootleg it down to their red buff, being able to defend their own buff.
Yeah, there's no one down there at the moment, so red buff start for Carbon in the opposite jungle. Blue buff start for Crystal M, and as you mentioned, he's going to switch around. We'll see, though, whether they fancy having a little poke towards Naru, who has got flash heal. Fabulous will get spotted, actually. He's going to come straight around, face checking in towards him. They didn't go aggressive. They managed to delay there. Cocoon was not fired off from Carbon.
So already there's a difference in play style. If you look at Legacy, they've got the buddy system going on. Minky Wells hanging out with Carbon. He's moving around the jungle, much like the LCS teams that we're seeing when you go for those lane swaps. Trade, sharing the experience, getting in the jungle and getting your champion a little relevant. Fabulous is trying to jungle by himself. He's currently at the Wolf camp, and Crystal M had the support of Touch.
Ooh.
They're going into the mid lane. Binding and Knockup. Those are the only ways to kill Choose. If Naro can get a stun, it'll make it much easier.
Oh, he's going to try and get away from this one. Touch not going to fire off the Dark Binding. He's quite safe. He's going to go the long way around back to his tower. So first game didn't draw out any summoner spells.
No, nothing this time round. It was a fairly weak attempt, to be fair. There was a lot of minions in that mid lane, and Choo-Choo's did have his flash available. So we're going to see some more of this buddy system in action. Who's going to smite the big Wraith? It does go to Crystal M, so small advantage, and he gets out cleanly as well.
Slides out swank points for that one, of course. Jim has been waiting a while in this bush to see if he can get something. There is no ward coverage, but they do, of course, realize that Kadrid is all on his own there, so they know that a roaming Alistair is something you have to be careful about.
Yeah, and something that you need to keep your eye on as well. It doesn't look like Kadrid is pushing that lane. He's currently frozen it around about the river. We'll get our eyes in a second or two, but you can see that Holy Phoenix and Touch, they're playing much more aggressively in their lane. They've pushed it all the way to the tower. They're already getting auto attacks down on Oceania's bottom outer turret. Whereas Kadrid is trying to freeze the lane in his side of the river. So if Fabulous ever returns to lane, he's going to be a little further behind. And Fab is already 11 CS down and 2 levels. So Dark Passage's early game, for their strategies not working out in favor of their top laner.
This is a very risky dive if Dark Passage go for it. They do manage to land the Dark Binding on Carbon. Minky well, don't think any of them are fancying pushing out. Maybe they're just going to reset the lane. Of course, minions will come back in there, but it does seem that Crystal M will back off. Fabulous manages to clear out the Wraith camp. He's going to have to back off. Still only level 2. Meanwhile, Minky well is up to level 3, so gaining an advantage in that. Now we do see the buddy system continue very long, actually, approaching the 5-minute mark.
Yeah, very, very late into the day. We'll see if Fabulous sticks around with Crystal M, because it appears to be the case. But I just think that's a mistake. I just think that on the side of Dark Passage, they may have overestimated Renekton's ability to clear and sustain in the jungle, and it has put him behind. He's got a CS disadvantage, and he's still a level down. He's just hit level 3, whereas Minky well is level 4, and I'm going to double check his experience. He's halfway to level 5, so quite a big difference between those two top laners.
They're going for touch. They managed to get the headbutt on him. Doesn't quickly put the black shield down. Is going to get pulverized. Black Cocoon will go down towards him. Can he get away from this one? Pulverize will be back off cooldown shortly. They're going to try and force out a flash. He doesn't bite. Instead, they're going to turn it back around. Minky well flashes across, goes on towards Holy Phoenix, and does manage to lock on towards him. Teleport coming in from Fabulous. Cocoon will get fired off. Fabulous just coming from base. Meanwhile, down the river, we see Naru coming across as well. Minky well goes in. Pulverize on towards him. Naru gonna get on towards him. Minky well will go down now. Jim gonna get focused on. The ultimate comes out. He gets himself a double kill. Naru picking up big, and that is a serious, serious problem as 3-0 for Dark Passage.
That is a massive swing. The gold was even going into that fight, and now there's 1,500 separating the teams. We talked about Legacy's aggression. We talked about how they want to pick fights and they want to get in your face, and they simply overcommitted. Carbon and Egypt didn't have the damage to kill Touch, and Touch, he's still at his flash. He saved it. He was waiting for Holy Phoenix to come and back him up. All of the work that was done to keep Fabulous down is just completely counterbalanced, because he jumps in here, helps his team secure 3 kills, and while all this fight was going on, the 2 mid laners got into a juke in the river, which Naru came out ahead as well. So 3 kills in favor of Dark Passage, and a very, very strong start, punishing Legacy for their over-aggressive moves.
Crazy stuff, and Naru returns with almost an Athenes and Holy Grail already complete. It's just got the 900 gold completion to go, and he'll be done on that one. Meanwhile, we do see a Tear of the Goddess coming out as first item for Choo-Choo's. That's going to set him behind a long time. It
really will. He needs to get some support of his teammates. So he's going to delay that mid-game power spike we talked about in picks and bans. Another item that we see picked up from Carbon, he's gone for the Quill Coat on Elise, and it's not exactly unusual, but it's not what we're used to seeing at this level of play. So that Quill Coach is going to give Carbon some more tanky stats and allow him to be on the front line a little longer, but we need to see how they make use of it. Invade from Legacy. The last time they picked the fights in Dark Passage jungle, it didn't work out, but their numbers are still in their advantage. I mean, every single member of Legacy is here, as opposed to 3 members of Dark Passage.
Yeah, 4 coming in. Choo-Choo's just off the side, so they could go 5-man. While this is all happening, they're leaving Holy Phoenix completely untouched in the towards it. It will be Carbon that gets the blue buff taken away. And that does mean, of course, Holy Phoenix and Touch are going to get some free time hitting this one. Minky Whale's going to teleport up towards the top lane. Should be able to clear out Blade Surge around those minions and quickly clear out as much as he can. Good Dark Binding from Touch there to catch him during that Blade Surge. He knew exactly where he's going. Fabulous going to get caught out here. He's in trouble. Carbon comes in and gets the kill.
It's not often you see a cow and a spider killing a crocodile, but that was just very well executed. Legacy landed the crowd control and instantly killed Fabulous. This may lead to a tower as well because there is a very big minion wave with them, but bringing it back.
I don't know, man. I've seen some of them spiders in Australia. They're pretty big. I wouldn't mess with those things.
I'm pretty sure Customs wouldn't allow it into Germany, to be fair, if they brought one of their pets along with them. So yeah, first tower was secured.
First tower secured, and top tower defended by Minky Whale as well. Here, Choo-Choo's going on towards Naru. Will get the bomb down. So fairly even trade between those two for now. Choo-Choo's getting a little more poke. That will be the top tower going down, so it's going to be 1-for-1 so far. And a 1,000 gold advantage to Dark Passage. Choo-Choo's just going to get
this might hurt.
Simple bomb, a slide. Not sure if he's going to get the rewind close enough. No. Oh, he does. No, not quite.
But look at the damage on that bomb. Even with the 150 shield, we'll get to that in a second. Naru, here comes the cow from the side.
Manages to get the slowdown on towards him. Flash burn from Naru. That was all they needed.
So Legacy have found some more aggressive plays that are working for them. The blue buff invade with 5-man ended up securing them the buff. Now they are also punishing Dark Passage for being a little out of position. Because of the lane swap that Dark Passage initiated, it allowed Fabulous to get tower dove, and he is still 20 CS behind. You have this lane bully in Renekton. If he had gone toe-to-toe with Aurelia, could have made his life difficult, but Legacy initiated the lane swap early on, and Fabulous fell behind. But look at the swing in the votes. Dark Passage losing some of the strength of their initial support.
Yeah, a couple of the Aussies are all awake right now watching the Strayers perform. We'll see if it works out for Legacy. They are currently behind in kills and gold, and Dark Passage have themselves an advantage. We'll see if they can stick with it though. CS-wise, between these two AD carries, Cadred has fell behind, but not too far. He's got 1 assist, where opposed to Holy Phoenix's 2. And of course, he's going towards the Blade of the Rune King versus the Trinity Force. So we'll see whether that plays into Holy Phoenix's advantage, because he should complete that item first.
In theory. The question is, how does he deal with the mobility of Lucian and the dive threat that Jarvan and Renekton offer? Because for the time being, Legacy have had a few aggressive plays, but they have been punished in their strength. Holy Phoenix has been jumped on by Minky Whale.
Yeah, Minky Whale going aggressive on this one. Has got his ultimate available. Has his Holy Phoenix. He's going to pop it. Get the culling down on towards him. The minions blocking just a mount. Minky Whale should be able to sustain and lifesteal off the minion wave that was there. Meanwhile, down in this bottom half of the map, everyone is all over the place right now. Fabulous has managed to get the ward down, but Choo-Choo's got to be careful. Yeah,
Choo-Choo's was trying to surround Fabulous after moving through his own jungle, but Fab gets out alive. The warding from Dark Passage, I think that was mostly just a warding trail or safari, but massive damage onto touch despite having very little ability power. Choo-Choo's with a Tier and an Athene's is completely proving me wrong, because in picks and bans I thought his item build might have led the team to go towards this mid-game power spike, but with the Chalice of Harmony and Tier, Choo-Choo's is really looking for the mid to late game power spike and trying to get a huge amount of utility down.
You know, we talked about the difference, of course. Fabulous, he's now 2 levels behind still, because while this has all been happening, Minky Whale's just been off soloing up against Holy Phoenix for a long period of time, and it's actually put him behind. That could be a big problem if we to move into this team fight. Remember, teleport not available for Minky Whale right now, so if Dark Passage were to go for it, repel range not enough for Carbon. Remember, that got changed ever so slightly.
Yeah.
And Legacy looking to try and create a play. Crystal M going to catch on towards Egypt. Dashes out of the side of that one, sidesteps it well, should be safe. Hasn't got level 6 yet, remember, so hasn't got that 70% ulti. Instead, he's trying to bait them all in while the rest of the team gather.
Well, we'll see what Legacy can do. They're trying to turn the aggression around on Dark Passage, but Naru has arrived and he's got a very, very long range. Teleport's available for both top laners, and I want to see how Legacy play. There's a knock-up.
A lot of damage on Carbon. That's the jungler low on hit points, and I think Dark Passage have done enough to maybe secure the dragon here. Legacy are going to back away. It looked like it could well just be the mid lane instead.
I'm really happy you mentioned the dragon, because I feel like Legacy, with the numbers advantage they've had in the bottom lane, and the fact that they've been roaming a few times with Elise, may actually have had an option to go for that dragon earlier on. But because Carbon went tank with Quillcoat as opposed to Spirit of the Spectral Wraith, didn't have that additional damage, and neither of these teams have put much focus on the dragon at all. They've been roaming around. Dark Passage has been responding to Legacy's blue buff invades, and that has been the central focus for Legacy. They're trying to keep Naru shut down. Naru may find himself a spider to squash. That's a lot of damage onto Carbon. He's going all in.
Well, it repels away. He's going to get caught. Oh, that's the sidestep the final hit. That may well have been just enough to catch on towards him. Instead, it does force them away. Now Dark Passage are moving towards the river. They are going towards that dragon. Of course, Fabulous has got teleport available, is just a level behind, but he's got to keep Minky Whale busy in that top lane.
Important to note, Rite of the Arcane from Naru is not available. Cataclysm is also on cooldown, so the longer this dragon takes, the riskier it might be for Dark Passage. It looks like Legacy are trying to respond, but I think they're going to be too late. They simply didn't move quickly enough, and this has allowed Dark Passage to secure the dragon relatively uncontested.
Yeah, they were just trying a bit of a lucky shot, I think, to try and see if they could snipe something away. Crystal M taken pretty low on that one. Looks like blue buff will also be picked up by Naru this time. Remember, it was stolen away by Legacy last time around. So, Holy Phoenix going aggressive on Kadrid here, quickly turning this around. Kadrid all on his own. He's got to be careful. Dark Binding has to flash away from it there. Nice play from Holy Phoenix.
Very well played between Holy Phoenix and Touch, actually. If it wasn't for Kadrid flashing the Dark Binding, he would have been taken out by the culling. And that's the type of Lucian play that we wanted to see from Creatine last week, but didn't. Have to play aggressive, have to make use of the mobility in Lucian to get in your opponent's face, and obviously punish Legacy when they don't have the support with their AD carry.
Naru takes a bomb. He's got his Athenes completed though, so shouldn't be too worried about that. Choo-Choo's meanwhile almost got it ready to go. Just the final items to complete, along with that tier stacking out for him right now. Holy Phoenix hasn't been back to base for some while, actually. He's got 1,800 gold on him around about now, so waiting to get that Blade of the Rune King complete. Meanwhile, Trinity Force has now been picked up by Kadrid, so he's completed the item first, only down to the fact that Holy Phoenix is yet to back.
Yeah, Holy Phoenix is going to complete his Blade of the Rune King the moment he recalls. But if you just compare items between the mid laners again, the makings of Athenes and Holy Grail for Choo-Choo's, he's gone for such a power ramp-up build that it looks like Legacy are going to be happy to try push this to the late game. Kog'Maw's obviously going to scale fantastically. The support of Zilean makes Elise and Irelia even more powerful. And they just need to be very careful with how they play team fights, because the dive power of Renekton and Jarvan is very high. So 2v2, top laners and junglers. Carbon's about to find Crystal M and see who comes out on top.
Naru coming close as well. Bright the Arcane should be just about in range. Instead flashes away quickly. Carbon realizing the danger and steps away. Choo-Choo's was making his way towards the top lane. So Dark Passage, they are starting to invade, they're starting to push.
They're going to go for Minky Whale.
Aggressive ward placement, they're going in for Minky Whale. Crystal M does slide through, gets the slowdown on him, a good cocoon threading through from Carbon. He finds himself locked up in the Cataclysm, repels away just in time. Is it enough? No! Remember, he just burned that flash, he will not be able to get down and towards it. Fabulous takes a couple of tower hits there. Minky Whale may well be in trouble. The mid laner Naru coming across, he could fire off on towards Minky Whale. Could land the stun here, just through the trees. Doesn't quite go for it though. Instead will manage to step away. Now Choo-Choo's is there, it should force them back.
Yeah, we'll see what damage Choo-Choo's can put down. It was all on Crystal M if they wanted to tower dive, but he was very low on mana. So flag and grab opportunities not really available to him, and Dark Passage continue to accelerate ahead. Over 3,000 gold in the lead. They've got 3 kill advantage. They've got a tower advantage. They've got a dragon advantage. So all of the objectives and metrics are in favor of Dark Passage. We do see Touch and Holy Phoenix going aggressive. Egypt, he's looking for a play. He's got the knockup.
Manages to get the pulverized headbutt in towards the tower. Touch is in trouble. He goes down. Teleport though. Fabulous is going to join the fight. He's going to go towards Kadrid. Will catch him out there. Headbutt pulverized will be back off cooldown very, very soon. Fabulous in trouble. Flashes away. Will they follow? Repel not quite close enough. And Fabulous gets away just about a 1-for-1 trade. 1-for-1,
and that's an 80 carry for support. So again, Dark Passage coming out somewhat ahead. Fabulous, who was controlled very early on, has now got himself 3 kills and assist and that Sunfire cap. Choo-Choo's is going to take some pain, but he's got his ultimate available, so smart play from Naru not to go all in.
Just straight aggressive from Naru there. He literally neither had vision, but straight aggressive play. Choo-Choo's choosing to go passive while Naru went full on aggression and came out with half the hit point advantage.
And I think if you just keep looking at Dark Passage's playstyle, they are putting emphasis on objectives. They have got a 2v3, but it's still going to be an advantage of Dark Passage for the time being, because Legacy are starting to fall behind. they haven't made very big pushes on the towers. And I want to go all the way back to the initial lane swap. When Cardred was alone in that top lane, he opted to freeze. He opted to hold the minions on his side of the river as opposed to trying to push. What if he had gone more aggressive? What if he had tried to take that tower down? Maybe Legacy wouldn't be 5,000 gold behind, which is where they find themselves right now.
This actually goes back to something we talked about way back at Worlds when Gambit refused to push the lane while everybody else was doing that. We'll see whether it turns around to backfire on Cadre, tries to get a shot down on touch. Dark Binding lands on Ejim.
Everybody's coming to the party, Deman. This is going to be a massive fight.
And Holy Phoenix is the starter. He's in trouble. A great pulverize from Ejim there. Manages to catch on towards him. Fabulous. He's locked up. Not going to be able to get out of this one. Or is he? Slices and dices his way. Crystal M, he's in trouble. Bomb will go off. Now on towards the next target, which will be Touch. Fabulous with the Dominus running. Will try and get away. Touch flashes through. The bomb will not be enough to take him down. And actually, Legacy, they're not going to get any objectives from this one. But will they find the mid lane? And Nauru getting chosen on here. You can see Fabulous. He's already taken down pretty low on this one. Ejim, good stun control on towards him. Does pop off that ultimate, though. That will give him a 70% reduction. Nauru still running, catching eyes on towards him, Cadred. That will give them vision. He's going to speed himself up, gets that heal down, and will be safe. Looks like Legacy, they want to go for the mid turret.
Ejim flexes his muscles and gets a 3-man knock-up onto Dark Passage before Nauru could get in range. And that was a very, very good play. If it wasn't for Ejim's knock-up, it may not have been enough time to focus Holy Phoenix. But look at how overextended Holy Phoenix was. The rest of Dark Passage were backing away. The rest of the team were in full retreat, and your AD carry was on the front line. So very, very strong initiation for Legacy to grab themselves a couple of kills. I think it ended up being 2-3 towards the end of it. And as we jump back to live, Choo-Choo's has been taken down.
Yeah, Choo-Choo's been taken down, and that opens up the Dragon for Dark Passage. Legacy are moving in. Remember, the AD carry, Holy Phoenix, is in the top lane. No way to get involved in this one. So risky move by Dark Passage. They knew they got themselves a kill, but they do want to back away. It's going to be a 4v4 as Nauru gets involved. Starts putting damage down. Good hit on Carbon once again, but Pinks are getting clear, but they're leaving themselves exposed. Holy Phoenix will take this tower down before anyone reacts.
Yeah, he's got a massive minion wave behind him. It looks like Legacy have prioritized the Dragon over the tower. As the game is progressing, Dragon will be worth more gold. And truthfully, Legacy are keeping themselves in it, but they are still 4,000-5,000 gold down as they have been for a while. This was the kill that Nauru managed to get on Choo-Choo's. 2v1, and they're going to get it through Chrono Shift. 3v1, actually. Choo-Choo all aboard the Dark Passage hype train.
Yeah, just showing the crowd control they have there as well. So well worked for them. Legacy now back in the mid lane. See if they can take this tower down, but it's going to be very hard to push against the Xerath. Minky welcome around. He's found Holy Phoenix. He's going to be able to dash across into the golems and give up that red buff. Will he come around for another bite? It seems that he will not. Happy to just take the golems. Yeah,
we need to see how Minky decides to itemize from here on out. He's got that Trinity Force, but I do expect him to go more tank.
See that Sheen proc there on Cadred on Nauru shows just how weak he is if he gets caught out at the side there. Legacy, they've got a lot of damage. They've got themselves a split push going on again in that top lane. We also have ourselves a pause. Let's unpause again. And away we go again.
That was a touch too much.
That was a little bit. Ejim actually popped his ultimate there. He got focused and targeted, so that ultimate is down. That's a pretty important one when you see Dark Passage. They want to go aggressive here. Minkuel is on his own. He's been left to take down that turret, so that'll be the second one of the game for Legacy. So if Legacy can actually hold them in this mid lane, which they have done, they're doing a good job. Yeah, very well played, actually, because Legacy have decided to go aggressive when they had the top laner pushing as well as a very large minion wave in the bottom lane. The problem is the wave clear from Nauru is so strong, they can't get on the tower. I say it so often. Them AD carries, then he needs to hit the goddamn tower. He didn't. He actually went for kills instead, gets tower aggro, trying to get some damage on Nauru, and instead just getting a couple of shots on towards that tower. Got to do that. That is your job. We'll see how it works out and see if it backfires on them right now, because Carbon's taking a hell of a beating right now. Cadred in trouble as well. They are going to try and drive this one forward again. Minkuel looking to flank and going around the side this time. Dark Passage got to realize it's a potential for a 3-on-5 situation. Holy Phoenix using the Cullen, just massaging the back of that cow's shoulders, but they are forcing Legacy back. Yeah, Carbon got so low from the poke and the damage Dark Passage were putting out. He needed to back away. So Legacy, they do get one tower out of that extended siege in the mid lane,
but they don't get much damage on the mid-outer turret, nor the bottom inner turret, because Holy Phoenix was able to roam around and clear that wave out very, very quickly.
Just look at that, the gold. It just shows Dark Passage clawing more and more away. It's been held fairly even for the last sort of 2-3 minutes, but they have been the ones dictating the pace of this game. Legacy, have they got this mid-game spike? Is it going to work out in their favor? Are they going to be able to force Dark Passage into something they don't want to do? Because I feel right now they are happy to just hold the defense. They've got a Zera. They can clear those waves for days.
Yeah, I agree. And you know, Legacy's itemization did not go the way I was anticipating. With that tank, Elise, and with Choo Choo's going for the very, you know, sort of scaling, expensive, late game oriented items with Athenes, with the makings of the Rod of Ages, potentially Deathcap, we'll see what that, not Rod of Ages, rather Archangels, or potentially Deathcap, depending on what the blasting one becomes. Legacy, they need to get some more control in these team fights, because as it stands, they have been punished more for their decisions than Dark Passage have. Very big minion wave working on the bottom and top lanes in favor of Dark Passage. So we need to see who handles those from the Legacy squad.
At the moment, they're just holding strong in this mid lane. Not really pushing each other back, just clearing waves back and forth. Again, Minky Whale off the side. He's got a wave that's going to push in Legacy's advantage as he rejoins the fight back in this mid lane, because Dark Passage are slowly but surely clawing their way in towards his tower. Something they have had a couple of hits on. Remember, they got a lot of hits on that bottom tower as well. So with that gigantic wave, I'm wondering if Dark Passage is just biding their time, just quickly rotate straight down to that bottom and join that big wave as it pushes in.
Yeah, I think that has to be the game plan if you're on the side of Dark Passage. The question is, do they want to tower dive? You do have very powerful divers with Jarvan, with Renekton, and the potential safety of that Black Shield. But they haven't been in a position where they've really been able to tower dive excessively. Touch gets caught, and it's Egypt that's going to start things off. No real aggression, it's just looking for wave clear.
That may well be enough, though, just to hold it off there. Egypt comes back in. Oh, Crystal Met goes in towards him. Can he get on towards him? Kadrin will get away with this one. The Ignite running. Kadrin should be able to get one more hit. The Ignite is not quite enough to take him down. Minky Whale chasing on this one. Will be able to play Surge in there. The bomb on towards Fabulous has to pop the Dominant to try and get out of this one. Egypt continues to chase. Head for Pulverize off cooldown, but that Black Shield will stop him in his tracks. Choo Choo speeds himself up. He can get a bomb out towards Fabulous. No, a great stun comes out from Naru. Now it's going to be Holy Phoenix just dodging him out the side. He will be able to dash away. Blade Surge gets on towards him. The slow from Minky Well. They try and turn it around. A great Pulverize gets into Holy Phoenix. So low, but he manages to pick off one. Can he pick off the second? Egypt trying to kite him around there. Nobody else is with him. Egypt's in all sorts of trouble. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, it is going to be a kill for Carbon on towards Touch to support. They're going to try and lock him off. Choo Choo's is going to come around the side there. Egypt is still alive, keeping himself healed up, but they are backing away in the top lane. They're going to try and take advantage and push the top turret.
Very well played from Holy Phoenix, and this is why we keep talking about the fact that he is the hard carry for Dark Passage. Take a look. Kadrin pushing middle lane. We see Choo Choo's on the retreat. He manages to sidestep all of the rights of the Arcane, and that team fight really just went awry for Dark Passage. They tried to force a tower dive, and it did not work out for them. On the side of Crystal M, he got melted, and actually, if Kadrin had landed the Living Artillery, the Ignite tick would have killed him. So this was the second half of the fight that we didn't catch, and it was Carbon and Choo Choo's just chasing Touch and Naru down. I just feel like it is a fairly simple repel. Actually quite smart from Carbon. Gonna get that last auto attack down, and then looks to cocoon up Naru on the side.
But you gotta wonder, if they're stuck together, they may well have benefited more from that one. The split off may well have hampered them. Dragon is back up, and everybody is looking to fight. They are all looking to brawl. Let's have a look across ultimates. Well, Soul Shackles is down, but that is about it. Right there, Arcane also not available, so it's actually Legacy with the advantage coming into this one. Oh, Holy Phoenix caught out again. Quick head for Pulverize comes out from Egypt. Pops his ultimate. Quick 70% reduction. Holy Phoenix getting dived off by Minky Whale. But look at this. They're calling massacring Legacy on towards them. They will manage to get one kill. Kadrin just over the side. He is free hitting right now. Fabulous in trouble. Choo Choo's will use the ultimate on himself. Fabulous goes down. It's a double for Kadrin. Choo Choo's gets across towards him. Kadrin's got to be careful. He doesn't get picked off by Naru, and he will escape. It's a 2-for-1. Both junglers down, so nobody wants his dragon.
And so crucially, Cartridge's the one that got those double kills. He's 3-1-3 after the fight. Choo-Choo's was trying to pull aggro from Dark Passage north of the fight and forced himself to use Chrono Shift just to stay alive. It ended up working in the advantage of Legacy, but simply put, Legacy was split up. They were in this like 3v2 scenario, and Holy Phoenix in a near perfect spot to get all of the stacks of the culling off. The problem is, because of the short attack range on Lucian, he's not able to continue over auto-attacking from over the wall. So that allowed Legacy to actually come away with a victorious team fight in front of the Dragon Pits.
And if right, the Arcane was up and he could have picked off 2 more there as well. You saw that EGM got away with nothing and Choo-Choo, so they could have both been focused out. Close fight so far, and it's actually drawn the gold a little tighter now as Legacy start to win out some of these engagements. It's down to 3,000 gold. Dark Passage start out the Dragon once again. Cadrid, is a long way from the fight this time around, as is Choo-Choo, so Dark Passage have a big positional advantage.
Yeah, and very importantly, Legacy are actually getting some towers. So they're getting some map presence, but we need to see how they challenge another straight-up 5v5. Previously, I think a little bit of positional mistakes from Dark Passage allowed Legacy to come away with the 2-for-1 trade. This time around, this is just a straight-up brawl. Every ultimate is available on both sides of the fence. And I actually think that's the wise call from Legacy. They can commit, but in a straight-up 5v5, the power of Jarvan and the AoE from Naru is high.
Touch caught out. He goes down. That's a second as well as the Crystal M gets taken down. Choo-Choo's taking all of the killing damage at the moment. Naru tries to pop up right at the arcade. Good dodging from Choo-Choo's as he goes down. That's going to leave the mid lane completely exposed as Legacy chase on towards this one. Fabulous taking damage. Carbon, you've got to be careful. That's a big crocodile you're wrestling with, but they will force him away, and that's got a minion wave. They're going to go in. They're going to take the inner turret.
If anyone can wrestle a crocodile, it's going to be the Australian team. But the initiation power, the team came out of absolutely nowhere. They popped the Talisman of Ascension, they got the speed boost down from Choo-Choo's, and they were bouncing onto Dark Passage before Dark Passage could react. So 2 members of the team got knocked up, and just very good single target focus from Minky Well, from Carbon, from Cowdred, just bursting out 2 members of Dark Passage. I did not anticipate the speed of that engage, because look at the speed that Alistair comes in at. He's motoring at 1 mile a minute. And Minky Well does such a good job of zoning away sort of Naru and Phoenix as the rest of the team actually ended up getting the kill. I think that was very smart play from Legacy. Well executed. It definitely caught me off guard.
And something that is working massively in Legacy's favor is the fact that Cowdred is 5-1-4, while Holy Phoenix, who we were touting to be their superstar, is only at 0-1-5 right now. He really needs to get some of those kills on the board that Fabulous has picked up.
Cogmore was available, and he picked Lucian Morgana, first-round pick for Dark Passage. Lucian did not work out for Millennium. For Creatine, who is one of the better AD carries in Europe, and it's just Lucian is somewhat falling off the tracks in the AD carry role.
Oh,
so Legacy, they found trouble. He's in trouble.
Yeah, he's going to flash away. Should be able to get away. That bomb will go off, but I'm not sure if it's enough. Minky Well gets on towards him. The ultimate running. Choo-Choo's gets the bomb down. Oh, that heal, is it going to be enough? Oh, he saves himself. Crystal M, he's got out. And again, EGM is there. Holy Phoenix, main focus. Cadrid gets on towards him. He'll go down. No, he gets away. Fabulous will go down. Minky Well finished off the AD carry round the side there. Naru now getting locked up. He's in trouble. Bomb goes down. Rewind on. Choo-Choo's gets stunned out. Not quite able to finish this one off. But again,
that's a flash.
They've got themselves 2. Choo-Choo's flashed on board. He will get touched. He's going to get Naru as well. It's going to be a double straight away. And that's a 4-for-0 for Legacy. They turn and run for Baron.
They're going to get the Baron, and this is the aggressive play that the team has been talking to us about. Legacy all in, all the time. And EGM, somebody needs to erect a flag in his name because he is fantastic. Multiple 3-man knockups. Look at this, over the wall, bang, 3 members again. I cannot count the number of times that EGM has set up a victorious team fight for Legacy just because of his initiation power. Very well played, and you can see why he got 150 assists in the Oceania qualifiers.
Great work from Minky Well, using the Blade Surge to dash onto the minion, get her on the side, and quickly stun up Naru, which obviously gave him the kill there. The heal, of course, the resurrection onto Choo-Choo's will keep him safe. So, Baron for Legacy. They now have the gold lead, and this is a big turnaround considering how far behind they were.
Yeah, and the first time all game, they've equal on towers. They're now significantly further ahead in kills, And you just feel like Legacy have hit that spike they were looking for. It took Choo-Choo's a long time. He has his Archangels completed, Seraph's Embrace completed. He's got Athenes, he's got Void Staff. There's a Randuin's on Minky Well, Negatron, Trinity Force. You've got even more tanky items on Carbon. So it's not the game plan I had anticipated for Legacy, but they are making it work. Because as they've hit their power spikes, as they've hit their item thresholds, Legacy have now been turning around those aggressive plays. Initially, they were losing them because they simply weren't strong enough to compete with Dark Passage. Now they are, and it's very convincing. This is an uncontested tower. Dark Passage are caught napping.
Yep, having to push that one down. I don't think Dark Passage fancied fighting for it because he was down to such low hit points already. So, Holy Phoenix, they really need him to get going right now. He's got that Infinity Edge completed. Fabulous gets a quick... I'm not too sure what the actual weapon is that Aurelia uses, but he gets bonked on the head with it nonetheless. Fabulous, so taking some damage. Actually happy to tower dive. Remember, he did complete that Randian, so can take a couple of tower hits. Look at this, going around the side. EGM fancies it, will get stunned down. It's going to have to pop that ultimate. They're throwing everything at him, and that way we're being too little, because again, that 70% damage reduction is huge, and Legacy just take the tower.
Every single time, one more hit. Dark Passage focus all of their attention onto EGM's Alistar, and he just walks away. I mean, yes, it did cost him an ultimate, but that is the 6th tower of the game for Legacy. They are now knocking on the door of Dark Passage. They've taken inhibitor steps.
5 towers without reply so far against Dark Passage. They were 4-1 down and now 6-4 up. Of course, they have got that Baron on, so every fight that Dark Passage takes has to be well thought out. Choo-Choo's spots out where that damage is going. Cocoon does not land, so Carbon has to repel away, and actually none of that damage caught on towards him. They're off at the side, they're getting the hits on. This is exactly what I wanted to see Kadra doing earlier. He is hitting the turret's going to go down. In him now down. Fabulous trying to put the damage down, but gets locked up. Chain CC, he's not getting out of that. That bomb will be enough to take him down, and they're going to move on towards the inhibitor. Dark Passage are in trouble here. Legacy are looking strong in game 1.
Dark Passage did not want the team fight against a team with Baron. And as they were sitting very hesitant, the very aggressive Legacy on the tower forced Fab to go in. But very, very good chain CC from Legacy. They locked up the Crocodile, they wrestled him to the ground, and they took him down. Legacy are not stopping yet. They've got a minion wave in the top lane. Siege minion's about 50% HP, and look at Minky Whale. He's just zoning away his opponents. He's been doing a good job of that every time the fight happens.
Absolutely, gets in their faces, forces them back, buys Kadred all the time he needs to just shred down yet another inhibitor turret. The Culling doing absolutely nothing from Holy Phoenix this time. They're happy to back out. That Baron buff will wear off in 20 seconds time, and Legacy have just left Dark Passage's base in tatters.
The decisive change in objective focus now in the second half of the game is a breath of fresh air, because Legacy put so much emphasis on killing and buff control earlier on, and now disregard chasing the kills in favor of getting those inhibitors. With super minions in 2 lanes, it's very difficult to see how Dark Passage are going to contain their opponents. Legacy can just play the map now, wait for the supers and push that bottom lane. It looks like that's the plan. They were going to move them way up, and there's even a minion wave building up in the bottom half there.
You know, talking to Legacy, both of us were earlier, obviously, before this game got underway. They were very open, very honest of talking about, you know, they feared Dark Passage. They were seeing what Dark Passage were doing. They've been specking them in their 5v5s and keeping their eye on them, seeing that they've obviously been doing really well, wrecking some of the EUS teams, while Legacy, of course, also have done well, but not on the path of Dark Passage out. But it turns out that they're aggressive, and look at that. Look at that gold swing. That is incredible, really. And the fact that they were 5k behind and they've swung it to now 5k in their favor. Or, well, in fact, it's 7,000 in their favor right now.
Yep.
It is such a good turnaround and a great comeback from Legacy. Obviously, there's a lot of Oceanic fans out there at the moment. Of course, the Australians watching this. I know there's Pastry Times out there in some bar watching this one. So them guys at home, they're going to be cheering on this team. And the Turkish team, well, let's not forget, it's a round robin. There's a lot of games to play today. Yeah, 5 more matches out following this one.
It's still too early to put the shrimp on the barbie if you're an Australian fan. But I'm sure if they keep performing this way, it might work out.
Carbon in trouble. Gets pancaked. Crystal M takes him out, but Carbon M will pay the price. Crystal is going to get taken down there. And let it go in. Minky Whale went too deep on that one. Dark Passage took him out, but a super minions on the Nexus turrets. That's going to buy Legacy time. Kadra's going to come in, and gonna have to dodge out that Dark Binding call up to Choo-Choo's. He may well get caught out right in the arcane, but he got his ultimate off in time. He will resurrect himself. Only Phoenix fancies it, flashes away, and Legacy should be able to escape free here. They're gonna have to run for their lives, but it is enough for them to get away. They've got the speed up from Choo-Choo's, and they're just buying time again in the base. Fabulous has to go back and deal with super minions.
Legacy caught way too many Dark Bindings. This time around on the siege, they were locked up long enough for the damage to get put down. They haven't stopped. They've got super minions. Remember, multiple super minions auras affect each other, so it stacks. If they can keep the super minions stacking up and pushing, it's going to be difficult for full tank Fabulous to clear them out. He simply doesn't have the damage to kill them quickly enough. That's why Holy Phoenix went up. That's why Holy Phoenix used the culling. But Legacy have lost some of that momentum because of the failed siege. They needed to play safer in that scenario, wait for multiple members of Dark Passage to be away, and then go for the tower. They didn't, they got caught, they got punished.
Yeah, they lost a few lives, they managed to steal away the blue buff though. And of course that Baron is up in 20 seconds time, which will be their next focus. They took it easily last time around. Super minions are going to still push, but those inhibitors are going to be respawning shortly. Not going to be up in time, but you can see Dark Passage, what they're doing. Keeping those super minions, shoving them back down the lanes to buy themselves time. There's the middle one respawning. Top one will follow in around about a minute's time. And Legacy have to play this one very carefully.
Yeah, and if you look at Dark Passage, they've only got 2 damage threats. They're relying on Holy Phoenix and Naru to put all the damage down. So the moment you lose one of those players in a team fight, it's almost an instant victory for Legacy.
They get straight on towards it. That's a Baron. That's gone down. No doubt about that one. Right, the arcane was available. Naru didn't even fancy popping it to get some vision and try and pop off some shots in towards that pit instead. We'll see how they hold out. This is going to be a really tough defensive job for them.
It will be. And, you know, full tank Renekton, if he had gone Blade of the Ruined King, would have been more of a threat to Minky Well, would have been more of a kill threat to Cardred if he was jumping on the back line. But for the time being, he's just looking to stand and fight. So Fab, no teleport available. He's peeling away from top lane, and we look at Legacy. If they get caught by the CC, they're in trouble.
Flash from Fabulous. He flash engaged there. Crystal managed to lock them up nicely as well. Minky Well uses the ultimate. That will be the AD carry going down. Choo-Choo's just taken low at the side, but Cadren is still free to hit, free to do the damage. Getting focused on there. Goes in towards Fabulous. Is it going to be enough? It's a back and forth. Fabulous gets on towards him. Naru gets the kill and holds out. Choo-Choo's gets the kill on Fabulous. It's a 1-for-1, 2-for-1 trade, sorry, so far for Dark Passage, but the inhibitor is still being hit. Minky Well dodges out the side. Choo-Choo still available. That ultimate cooldown is so short. Just as again the inhibitor respawns, they take it straight down and they're on to the Nexus turrets.
Legacy don't look like they want to back off at all. They do need to hang around another 30 or so seconds before that top lane inhibitor respawns. Remember, it took him a little while longer to pop that one last time round, but Minky Well, he's going deep.
He wanted to get on towards Naru there, just waiting for that stun to be fired off again. They go towards it. Holy Phoenix the target. Cocoon does not land. Legacy are playing a dangerous game trying to finish this game out so quickly.
Yeah, they need to be very careful, and I think wisely back away. They were relying on the region of Baron to keep them somewhat sustained, but they do win the fight, and they do get another inhibitor down. And if you look at how that team fight played out, Ejim now on the sieging power is somewhat less effective. Ejim has not been able to land those multi-man knockups that we've come to expect. Naru just being a little bit of a scumbag and delaying those recalls from Legacy eSports.
Yeah, we saw the right the arcane go down and just fires it off. They're going to try and shove out this mid lane against super minions, of course. Ejim, who has been, for me, one of the MVPs of this match. He's been absolutely landing their pulverizers perfectly. Probably the best, honestly, Alistair support we've seen in some time, I think.
I would definitely say it's an impressive performance. It definitely was responsible for pulling Legacy back in the mid game. But on the same token, Ejim has not been as impactful over the last few minutes. So for Legacy, they've got Baron. It's about a third of the time left standing. I actually wonder if that top inhibitor respawns and was taken down by super minions previously, actually. Wasn't even needed to take down by the champions. It definitely looks to be the case as it hasn't come up yet. So Legacy gonna retry this bottom lane siege. It didn't work out for them last time. They ate too many Dark Bindings, but they have multiple Banshee's Veils this time, so that should reduce the threat of giving up unnecessary kills.
Slow reactions, Dark Passage. Fabulous is staying in that top lane against the super minions while the rest of Carbon and our crew move in towards this one. Remember, LGC, they don't hang around here. They're going straight in. That's going to be Kadra. Gets the hot shots on towards it. That's all they needed. Crystal M, again, going too deep. The rest of his team not on the same page. Minky Well taking all of the hits. He will get away. That's going to be Crystal M going down for Fabulous trying to get away. Kadra just doing all of the damage required and taking down the inhibitor.
Yeah, this should be game without Crystal M as a front line. The rest of Dark Passage are falling. Legacy are onto the Nexus turrets, but here comes a giant crocodile. He's been caught.
Well, Nexus turret down for Fabulous gets focused. They quickly turn back onto the Nexus turret. That's all they want. That's all they care about. Taking the objectives down. The rest of Dark Passage trying their best to interfere. Ejim Dakin very, very low, but the second Nexus turret will drop. The Nexus is going to fall, and Legacy will take game one against Dark Passage. A fantastic start for the Aussies here at Gamescom.
Fell behind in the early stages of the game. Hell, they fell behind for the first 30 minutes of the game, but managed to find the right initiations around the Dragon and their jungle, and that allowed them to pull the game back in. We were touting Holy Phoenix coming into this matchup. He ended 0-2-8. The other side, Cardrid, 9-1-9. I was the one saying he played somewhat overly aggressive in the Oceania qualifiers, but he was very rarely under threat or out of position on his Cogmore this game.
And that's just it. He was on his own at the top for a long period of time. Remember Minky Well, then he was on his own against Holy Phoenix, and it just worked in their favor. Obviously, Fabulous, remember at the start, went for a long time with that buddy system, 5+ minutes in the jungle to help out. Didn't work out for them. They started off strong. They got a 5,000 gold advantage, yep. 5,000. And still, Legacy came back. That is going to give them gigantic confidence in this tournament.
You have to question the Lucian pick and the Renekton itemization on the side of Dark Passage. And the reasoning for that, if you're going to go full tank Renekton, why not look for another pick? Why not look for a Shyvana who you can build full tank, who has more of a team fight presence that you can also then impact, give more time for the likes of your Xerath and your Lucian to put damage down if you're going to go that route. But Holy Phoenix and Lucian really did not have much of an impact. He had a fairly strong laning phase, and he did bully Cardrid around the few times we've seen him. But it didn't often result in kills. It didn't result in an overwhelming power spike, because Cardrid was just able to outscale him.
Yeah, fantastic start. And as I said, it's going to give them a hell of a lot of confidence. They were unsure going into that game, but they have represented their scene very, very well, considering they were the underdogs to squeak through. Everybody was expecting Immunity to be here, but instead, it is Legacy, and they are 1-0 at the top of the table right now, and the hot favorites, Dark Passage, taken down in game one.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I was watching a lot of VODs from these teams to do research, to look into playstyle, look into decision-making, and I felt that Legacy was behind Dark Passage when it came to the decision-making and the strategy. But their aggression, while it cost them a few thousand gold early on, it wasn't enough to cost them the game. And all of a sudden, that aggression, look, it never stopped. Legacy never took their foot off the pedal.
If you think of the first team fight where they actually lost out, was a gain. It was exactly how they turned the fights around. They did exactly the same thing, rinse, repeat, but it just didn't work out that once. That's what gave Dark Passage the 2-3 kill advantage,
yep,
and set them behind in the first place. But they knew what they were doing, they knew what they wanted to do, and Alistair getting in, landing those 3-man pulverizes multiple times, certainly turned things around.
It has to be a consideration for a ban. I mean, Ejim, his performance on Alistair was fantastic in the mid-game. The number of 2-3-man knockups that literally turned objective fights, definitely one of the better Alistair performances we've seen in a long time.
Well, you've heard what we have to say. Let's hear